Thanks for that, G Darius. G Darius just told me that he wasn't able to hear me. I just saw the little mute button on my mic was on. Should be able to hear me now. Let me know. What I was saying was, first off, good morning. Haiti Biz News Show. We are on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. And per usual, those who are catching the stream after the fact, you can always catch us 11 a.m. On Sundays, right? And we read all comments on air. Right, the quality of the discussions improve tremendously. The more folks we have contributing, commenting, and participating, right? So certainly welcome for those coming in. Again, let me know if I'm being heard. I should be a-okay now. Just notice the mute button when you pop this mic on. The perfect. Yeah, I can be heard. The automatic setting is for mute, right? So we have a lot of information to cover today. In fact, I got a flight to catch. I got a flight to catch in a few hours. So we're going to be pretty quick. We're going to hit the topics pretty hard here and get off air. But still, I do encourage comments. I do encourage folks, add their 2 cents because that's how we gain and grow. The more perspectives we have, right? And of course, we have a few folks coming in right now. We have G Darius. Again, thanks for the mic heads up. We got Arak Prince. As always, good morning. Good to see you. We got John Tellisma. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got a couple folks coming in on IG here. My dearest mama's on there. We got a few different folks coming in. So hello. Good to see you guys in today, right? So let's just jump into it, right? Per usual, we have a few things we want to lead with. We did a YouTube Seejeanty on location recently. We interviewed Pierre Stanley Baptiste, an incredible. I mean, there's no other way to describe Pierre other than to say he's a Renaissance man. He's doing a lot of different stuff. He's a prolific writer. He has helped. He's really branched into the self-help domain, where he sort of has become a think tank for other Haitian native young entrepreneurs looking to improve their lot, but more importantly, focuses on the mindset and how to, not just the mindset too, but the skills, the things that exist for the young Haitian entrepreneur to be able to leverage, right? Maybe online platforms, maybe things that even exist in Haiti. His focus has been not only to just be a social media presence, but to write books. He's on his 3rd book, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk. We held that discussion with him, was to sort of discuss this new book that's coming out. That the link of the video is in the description below. Again, YouTube Seejeanty per usual. That book, Underdog Revolution, really is a must read. It's about to come out. And in fact, he's doing a GoFundMe for early access, right? And to help support the publication and things of that sort. So I do Pierre Stanley, someone I've known for a while, and someone who I've in 3 years I've been in Haiti. I've seen his growth from just meeting him at a happenstance workshop at the Marriott to where he's at now, which is he's the managing director of Impact Hub Haiti. That's doing some great stuff and allowing a lot of young entrepreneurs space and at an affordable rate to be able to grow, right? So again, check out that video, YouTube Seejeanty, Anu Pale, Pierre Stanley. It's really a value-added discussion, okay? As always, the Haiti Biz news site is a thing, right? And what that site is, we go out to the interwebs, and what we do is we bring back Haiti stories across the web, but we do our best to make sure it's translated to English. So because there is no place really that has a one-stop shop for Haiti business news. In particular, it's not in English, right? And so Haiti Biz News is, because those who watch on YouTube and Facebook right now, you can see a little banner that's just creeping by this way, HaitiBizNews.com. Even when I'm not on air, remember this show used to be a daily show. It's now a weekly show. And for those who still need to be able to stay current with what's going on in the country, HaitiBizNews.com. I saw there was a deficiency in the news domain. I always had to go to a dozen different websites every morning. So I was like, nah, this is 2020. This is 2019. Things need to be done a different way. So we have a website that aggregates all that news, and you can always still go to the websites that are writing these articles. In fact, I encourage it. I put sources and clickable links throughout the pages, because we do want to support the work of these websites in general. But still, a lot of us, we're busy people. We need a one-stop shop place to go. And again, HaitiBizNews.com. And everything article we talk about today, every news story we talk about today, the articles can be found on HaitiBizNews.com, right? And as always, share the stream. Those who are coming in on Facebook, those who are coming in on YouTube, do share the stream. Share the stream on your channels. Share the stream in some groups. Share the stream on your WhatsApp. Let's get some more people in here. The value of this news stream, of this live stream, is improved exponentially. The more people we have here, the more voices, and they don't have to agree with me. They may think, Haiti is a lost cause. Great, bring them in here. Let's get that discussion in here. Those who have value-add discussions of the work they're doing, great, bring them in here. Love to have in both sides of the coin, because the discussions only improve the more voices and the more opportunities to learn from each other. All right. So let's take a quick look, see what folks are saying. We got some folks coming in to the IG here. Good to see some folks. Good to see some folks waving back at you as you come in. Good morning. Good morning. Right. John, tell us, man, again, a good morning if I didn't say anything to you there. Right. So let's go ahead and talk about the news stories for today. Right. And I generally want, we got to talk about the fact that the earthquake, the anniversary of the earthquake happened last week. Of course, I wasn't on air. But really the news headlines were dominated by the earthquake. A lot of different organizations did pieces on the stories on the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of the earthquake, from NPR to Reuters to the Haitian Times did a fantastic piece, fantastic pieces actually on it. And unfortunately, it's there's no way to sugarcoat this, guys. There's no way to sugarcoat this. The fact is that in 10 years, and I remember where I was. I think a lot of us remember where we were. We were, at least I was in fact, working in Chicago at the time, and when the news hit, and I was taken aback. I felt the closest feeling I had when I heard the earthquake happen was the 9/11, right? When the planes were hitting. It's a surreal sort of event that you see unfolding on TV, and you honestly can't, process. It feels like it's a movie, even though it wasn't, right? I had some extended family who were affected, lost their lives. In fact, I know many other Haitians who had closer hits to home. Some Haitian friends who lost parents, grandparents at the time. And then when the numbers are starting to come in, and you're hearing figures, 50,000 dead, 100,000 dead, 150,000 dead. I think that the end tally of the amount dead was 200,000 people died in this event in a blink of an eye. Some of them in a blink of an eye. Others died over the many days, buried under rubble, in pain, and excruciating pain and suffering. The only thing I remember thinking was, as someone who's more spiritual than religious, but thinking that there would have to be something positive that would come out of this. Haiti would have to come to grips with itself and have to change, right? Have to improve some way, somehow, to make this tragedy, make sense, if that makes sense. But here we are, 10 years later, right? And not only is the GDP and the growth of the economy decreased the first time since the earthquake, the quality of life for so many Haitians have not improved. We've had a lot of promises broken. The General Hospital, one of the first things that was announced to be constructed, didn't happen. Still not constructed. Still in a place of mostly shambles. Right. We have the University of Haiti, for example, that was very much affected. Lots of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of students perished at the University of Haiti. Many of their buildings are still in shambles, still unconstructed, despite the fact that millions of dollars have been dispersed to them. The Haitian government, in fact, is not contributing anything, in fact, per all reports, right? We've had the PAP fire, right? The Port-au-Prince fire, the Port-au-Prince firefighters, they're building, if you go today to the only firefighting in Pennsylvania, I think there's a second one now, but the one in Port-au-Prince proper, the one I'm thinking about is the one in Pitcherville that recently opened up. It still has a crack on it. It's still in shambles. It's still damaged, right? Think about it. Your firefighters, your first line of defense, is in a building that has not been repaired from earthquake. And what's most the biggest contrast is the fact it's right next to a brand new MCI building. MCI is the Minister of Commerce and Industry. Brand new building, brand new modern building, right next to the firefighting building, right? Which shows you the level of priority for the country. It's not necessarily for disaster prevention, health, sanitation, anything that could generally improve from a basic level of what a government should be doing, right? They're not doing. But MCA, of course, does exist because it's a revenue center, right? It's a place where you have to go to, if you're doing anything related to importing, exporting, starting your business, starting a business, incorporating, it brings in revenue, where the firefighter does not build in revenue, right? The National Palace is still unconstructed, right? 10 years later, the National Palace is still unconstructed. To put it in context, the last time that the National Palace was destroyed back in 1912 or so, in the early 1900s, there was an explosion that happened underneath that killed actually potentially one of our more progressive presidents, LeConte. Within about a year and a half to 2 years, that it was automatically reconstructed, right? It was, commission was sent, Haitian architect was commissioned, and the National Palace was rebuilt and stayed that way until this most recent earthquake. Just to show you that, in 100 years ago, 110 years ago, Haiti had exponentially more organization than it does today, where we still, 10 years in, do not have a national palace rebuilt. Now, of course, folks always will say, we should be building schools and hospitals and things of that sort. Of course, and we need a national palace. It shouldn't be an either or statement here, right? It should be, we need schools, we need roads, we need hospitals, and we need a national palace, right? There isn't a functioning government country that doesn't have a place for its executive and its parliament, right? That is of standard, right? And so I know. So the only advancement we've had was that last week it was announced that a proposal from Rocco Deco, which is a Haitian architectural company, which, by the way, when I did some very ad hoc research on that, it seems like they've only existed since last year. I'm not sure if this came together, the full background of the architectural firm. I'd love to try to get a hold of them and do an interview with them. So we'll see if I can do that, get a little more information. But what does seem very interesting is that they're in partnership with Adage. I hope I'm saying it right. Ajaye, excuse me, Ajaye, who is the Tanzanian-born African who actually is the one who, if you guys have heard of the Museum of African History in DC, beautiful building, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous building that was backed by Oprah, and of course Obama had a hand in pitching it Jay-Z, I believe, contributed. A lot of big names in the elite of Black America had a hand in pushing it forward. And by all accounts, it's one of the most beautiful buildings in DC and one of the most beautiful museums in the country, in the United States. He was the leading architect for that, and he's going to be working very closely with Rocco Deco, which is a Haitian architectural company. They won the proposal, right? His proposal, which you can see on Seejeanty Facebook. We do a little scrolling down a little bit. You'll be able to see that they won it. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. You have one of the lead Black African architects working with a Haitian architectural company to build Haiti's national palace. That is cool. There's no way around that. That's cool, right? But who knows when it's actually going to be commissioned, when it's going to be funded, and when it's going to be built, right? And even when it starts to be built, when is it going to be finished? There's a lot of factors that the Haitian government has not really shown us they are up to the task up to this point. But again, I just want to end with this thought, which is to say, it's on one level, I can tell you it's very discouraging, right? To have 10 years go by and so little progress for the quality of life of Haitians. But at the same time, it just shows that we who are passionate about the country, who really want to see Haiti turn the corner, we have to keep working. We have to keep working. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep elevating, inspiring others to be a part of the country. It's one of those things, when you just realize that what you're doing, whatever you're doing, if you're a Haitian diaspora or Haitian national in the country doing work, you realize that your work is extremely valued because there's so little inherent pushing forward momentum in the country, right? That your presence really, really does make an impact, right? And your consistent presence, because Haiti doesn't make it easy. We know this, right? But your consistent presence, your ability to persevere, your ability to understand that, you getting punched in the mouth once or two or three times isn't cause for you to quit. It's cause for you to buckle down, double down, and keep working forward because your action, your collective action, it is ultimately responsible for 12 million lives, right? So that's the population of Haiti currently, right? So that's my take on it. Again, it's discouraging that we've had so little progress, but it's that is why it's even more important that we keep pushing forward as a collective and try to work together and see what we can do, particularly not in charity, but in particular entrepreneurship, investing, and seeing what we can do to put an economic foundation to a poor country, right? So let's see what folks are saying. Here we got a few folks on IG. Kaibe, thank you so much for the wishes related to my wedding. So thank you for that. And so thank you as well, Lanzi Reddy. Thank you for that as well. It was a very small event that I had last week. That's why I wasn't on air, and went off very well. And starting a new chapter of life. So thank you guys who are wishing me those well wishes on that. Appreciate that. John Tellison writes. He says, Chris, would you happen to know if after the earthquake, has the government changed laws on construction standards? We don't know. I don't know. Certainly the NGOs and larger companies who were doing construction certainly made seismologists and certified folks be a part of their plans and use them to make sure an earthquake wouldn't be a problem. I know as well that a lot of just local construction started to make sure themselves to incorporate seismic proof standards and load bearing and better foundation. So some things improve at a micro level, right? In terms of now it's cognizant, hey, we need to get earthquakes. We need to build in a way that potentially will protect us. But, is there parliament that is passing laws and funding regulators and code enforcement? Put it like this. There's an article recently came out that over 90% of buildings in Haiti are built without a permit, even though a permit process does exist, right? So that should tell you everything you know right there, right? There is no formal regulatory body making sure construction that is happening in the country that is up to any code, much less a code that would protect that building from an earthquake. And if there isn't any regulation, there is no guarantee that whatever folks are doing independently is acceptable, right? And so to answer your question, John, even if there is no enforcement, right? And that's ultimately always the problem with Haiti, right? You can pass laws, they don't pass laws, but the little laws they do pass, there is never any enforcement, right? Enforcement is done very haphazardly, right? JH says, he says, good morning. Thanks for the good words about Haiti Biz News. Appreciate that. Let's see, talk about business in Haiti and connecting. And yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just in the description below, this goes for anybody who wants to reach out and start a conversation about what you're independently doing in the country. Feel free, Seejeanty at hypro.solutions. Feel free and send an email, and we'll start a conversation, and we'll see what you're doing. And I know some folks do charge for consultation, but I'm here for a much bigger, important mission, right? And that mission is really to help foster increase inward productivity from our folks from abroad. And so certainly as much as I can provide guidance, and we're here to do that. In fact, I'm writing a book right now, 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, right? A guide for entrepreneurs looking to impact. That's not the title exactly, but basically that's the idea. It's not only here's some ideas, but here's some business concepts, here's some ways to implement it, and also here's some people actually succeeding. So it's not just my word for it. Like, look, here's one or two companies that are succeeding, in this particular tranche, this particular idea, right? 101 ways. So just to go to show you, I'm really here to help foster that sort of creativity and idea, because I can't do it alone. I always knew I could move to Haiti myself and be subsistent. Not subsistent is what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is sustained. I can sustain, or I guess where I'm at right now, which is making more than enough money to cover my expenses, and fine, right? With pushing 12 employees, et cetera. But it's not about just me being successful. It's about bringing other folks from the outside in and also being successful. That's the only way the country can change. And so that's why I'm in the book, and that's why I do remain open. I did type in my email there. So JH, feel free. I'll look out for your email. Jimmy Latouche says there's a lot of sound feedback. Are you using a new mic today? A lot of sound feedback. That's very weird. That shouldn't be the case. I don't have a headset to kind of test that sound out to see if that is the case or not. Let me see something. Let me try to hear myself, because I hate to have a bad sound system. I'll be right back, guys. Right. I got my little headset here. Let's plug this into the mic and see if I can hear. Test 1 2. Got my little headset in here. I think I sound about right. I think I sound good. Don't really any. I don't hear. I don't really hear any feedback necessarily in this. So that sounds pretty clear. But you guys, let me know if for whatever reason there is some feedback. I'm certainly not hearing that coming from my mic. So again, let me know. Let me know, guys, especially those who are on YouTube or Facebook. I think Jim's on Facebook and was hearing the feedback. He's saying it's better now. All right. Okay. I don't really necessarily like this on my head, though. So we're going to put this down. Right. All right. But yeah, let me know how the sound quality is. Right. All right. So, so where were we? Where were we on this? Yeah. So let's get back to it. So we had Jay Power Max. Hello. Lawrence is saying it was clear. All right. Thanks. Appreciate that. We'll keep an eye out for it. Let's see. Need a new Haiti. He says, Jay Parmax says Haiti president is President Jovenel Moise is a great president. He knows why. I guess I guess we well, let me continue with the news, right? Let me continue with the news before I respond to that, right? So on let me minimize that feedback. Where is that? How to make that go away? Oh, there it is. All right, there we go. Let's make that go away. All right, good. So let's keep pushing forward. So so that was the earthquake. And we do have to touch it's like eating broccoli, right? I like very much to kind of get it out the way, which is the politics of the country. The bigger headlines, anyways, that ultimately is going to affect your macroeconomic conditions and what can be done in the country, given how politics really usurps so much of any progress, any discussion of progress, and action of progress. So we do have to talk about that, and so several senators have been pushing for the CEP, which is the Electoral Board of Haiti, to basically expand their mandates, saying that because there was an election, and ultimately that until the CEP themselves say that their mandate's over, they still have a mandate, right? And they're citing several parts of the Constitution and several parts of the CEP's own mandate, citing that they are the only ones who have authority to say anything on the matter. President Moise, King Moise, announced on Twitter that, oh, we're so sorry that the parliament is over, and basically, stating that the parliament's mandate was over. But the senators have said that the president has no right and no authority to comment on that, and only CEP does. And so they're petitioning the CEP to basically expand their mandate until 2022, in fact. And there has been no comment. Currently, they only the 10 senators who were elected in 2016 have been allowed into the parliament building. They've tried. The others have tried, but the police have not allowed them into the building, not allowed them into the complex in any case. And so the big news, there were two big news, is the fact that Moise, King Moise, I'll tell you why I'm calling him King in a moment, has said that instead the salaries of the deputies and the senators are going to be used to build 10 schools. So whether or not this is just a political ploy or whether or not it's actually going to happen, only time will tell. And I'm usually not a person who likes to, share news and tidbits that are announced, because the Haitian government is very good at announcing things, but doing very little. But certainly, given what's going on, it is a slap in the face of the senators and deputies who are currently jobless and fighting very hard to basically regain and keep their positions, right? But most importantly, King Moise has announced something that a lot of you in the diaspora really need to take note. He's announced that he intends to change the Constitution, right? He intends to, for a while, he's been saying that the Constitution has hamstrung him and it would hamstrung any president and hamstrung any government from being able to function, given the current structure of the of it, right? And he's pushing to, before the end of the year, to draft a new constitution, all right, and put it to a public referendum to be voted on. Now, we have to ask ourselves, how can that be? How can a president just sit here and say, well, I'm not really feeling this constitution, here's a new one, and y'all vote on it? And as mentioned, from the 13th of January onward, President Moise is in fact a king. He rules by decree. Anything he writes has the power of law, right? And is passed through his provisionary cabinet and is enforced as such. And such, I am not kidding when I say this, he could wake up one day and say, oh, everyone should wear pink shirts, draft as a decree, it is law, and if you don't wear a pink shirt, you go to jail. I mean, that is, he has unlimited total power as it stands right now. Now, as I mentioned before, when this crisis has started early August or so, and lasted for as many months as it did, I expressed that we'll see what type of person he is, if he really does have the interest of the country and the people in the state at heart. If he was able to survive until today, into today's date, this is the 13th, and we're seeing, time will tell still, because he has till 2022. He has another 2 years, but he is. We'll see what sort of constitution he proposes, right? We'll see ultimately too how long of an extension he gives himself as well. We're in a place where Haiti has never really been here before, since at least not since the early late 1950s under Duvalier, where you have someone who not only has so much power, but also is stating very clearly he intends to change the foundation of the government, right? And more importantly, he has the power to do so, and more importantly, he has the unlimited backing currently of the United States, right? The only reason why King Moise is here right now, the only reason why King Moise is still in power, is because the United States wants him there. There is no dispute here, right? Every layer of society in Haiti wants him gone. The Haitian diaspora, for the most part, also wanted him gone, particularly during the crisis and things were getting as bad as it were. And he survived solely, purely, simply because the United States wanted him there. Now, of course, we've talked about why the United States wanted him there. He's voted against Venezuela several times, which is what they've wanted. He's voted to stay with Taiwan, instead of China, which is what the United States has wanted. And those really two big pillars of the Trump administration in particular, given the wars that Trump is fighting, he wants allies, and Haiti is a very important ally on that front. And as such, and as Jovenel does anything and everything that is told to him by the United States, he has thus gained goodwill. Now, I guess we will see if the United States sits idly as he does something so egregious as draft a constitution that is outside of the current constitution's processes, because the current constitution, to be clear, is very clear. There is no referendum. That is prohibited, explicitly in the current constitution. The only way to change the constitution is by the parliament, by the exiting parliament, by the way. The exiting parliament can issue amendment or a change to the constitution, at which point the incoming parliament will ratify. That's the only way, right? They made it very hard. The current constitution made it very hard to change the constitution because of past dictatorships that we've had throughout the entire history of the 200 plus years Haiti has been in existence. So they made it very difficult to change the constitution and put the vast majority of power in the parliament, despite the fact that we've had a very corrupt, very inept parliament that has always consistently put the blame on the president, even though it's them who had the power to change and improve and progress, regardless of whatever president was in place. So that's really where we're at. As you can imagine, the feedback and criticism has been mixed. Where we had people like Gary Badeau, the former head of the House of Deputies, basically inviting folks to back this movement. He agrees that the Constitution needs changing and wants folks to be a part of it. Whereas there's the opposition senators and et cetera have stated again clearly that, hey, what you're doing right now is unconstitutional. The Constitution is very clear. You cannot do this. You cannot draft a resolution and then put a public referendum. That's not how it works in this country, right? So, but again, we'll see ultimately as things go on and move forward, the level of pushback that the opposition is able to raise against this. I think certainly King Moise feels emboldened because he has the backing of the one entity that matters in Haiti, which is the United States, and he feels he can make this play. He feels he can make this change, right? And ultimately, we'll see what the new Constitution says. Certainly, obviously, I've talked about this many times on the program. What I'm looking for is involvement for the diaspora. I think the diaspora should be able to hold really any office. There shouldn't be a limit just because of Haitian citizenship to another country, as it's currently written. You should be able to, because I think the way it's written right now, even if you were to renounce your prior citizenship, the fact that you even had citizenship somewhere else would make it difficult for you to run, if not impossible. Right. Whereas most developed countries do have the capacity not only for dual citizenship, which exists technically right now, but allows those who with other citizenships to run for office. Right. And I talked about this before. When you have 80% of educated Haitians living abroad. Right. And when you understand that over $4 billion, remember, Haiti's GDP is only 8 billion. Right. So almost $4 billion, almost half of Haiti GDP coming from the diaspora through remittances, right? But yet we have no representation, no direct representation at any level, right? There is something wrong that needs to change with that system process. And we need, honestly, when you look at other countries, you look at Israel, you look at even Dominican Republic, they have full and total engagement of their diaspora, right? The diaspora abroad can come in, own land, can vote. There's processes in place to allow them to vote even while they're away, and you can see the impact of total engagement of all of the diaspora in the fact that they've had advancement in their country, while meanwhile we have not. Right? And I'm not saying that the Haitian diaspora is going to be the silver bullet. It's not, but I'm just saying repeating the same processes, right? And expecting a different output is insane, right? It's insane, right? So adding a new element, which would be involvement of the Haitian diaspora more directly with Haiti, because they already taking our money, right? But the part that really matters is the political dynamic and structure. That needs to happen, right? So I'll look if the new Constitution has elements of that. I'm certainly looking forward to that. Certainly looking forward to elements of restrictions on the impunity of politicians. Right now, literally a senator or a deputy could in broad daylight pull out his gun, shoot somebody in the face, and then walk to a cop, spit in the cop's face, get in his car, and go home. And there is not a thing you could do to him. Politicians have total immunity in the country, total immunity. And in fact, those who were watching closely during the worst of the crisis, there were senators pulling out guns on the grounds of the parliament and shooting it in the air. In fact, there was a journalist who got a bullet in his mouth. I'm not making this up. This happened. Google it. We talked about it, right? And nothing happened to that senator. Because nothing could happen, right? So this is not just me just being very expressive on a particular idea. This has happened. This has happened. We've had a senator who, or was it a deputy, who pulled out his gun and shot, mistakenly, but still shot a member of the press, and nothing could happen to them, right? So that's certainly something we're looking for as well, because as it stands right now, we are aware that one avenue for people who are very involved in illicit activity to protect themselves is to run for office, and from there they can't be touched, right? And so that's certainly one thing we're looking for to change as well, and yeah, so those were the two big things I'll be looking at, and of course, what powers King Moise decides to give himself even more, right? So we'll look out for that. And that's really where I'm going to end the political talk. It's like eating broccoli. I like just getting it out the way, being done with it, so we can talk about things that really are progressive in nature. So let's take a quick look at the comments here, see what folks are saying. Jay Parmack says, "Hey, I live in the Dominican Republic. Haven't gone to Haiti in 12 years, but man, I always watch your news about the country. There's always a fight, lots of corruption, bad man, gangsters." Thanks for watching my content. I certainly appreciate. Hope you're subscribed. Jay Parmack, certainly do share your videos, your favorite videos that you like on your network to get the word out. There is another side of Haiti that needs to be discussed and shown, from the beautiful touristic sites, from the business, from the young entrepreneurs who are doing great work, impactful work in the country. So certainly share those videos, and thanks for being part of the live today, and hopefully you're subscribed. So thanks, man. Jay Pyrax follows up and says, "Hey, I want to go to my country and chill and feel comfortable, right? And then Jovenel can change. He needs help from the other side of the opposite." All right, listen, that's everyone's entitled to their perspective. Lawrence Gonzalez comes up. Hey, by the way, good morning, Lawrence. Good to see you on here, certainly. And going, folks who don't know who Lawrence is, he is a guy who's doing some great stuff on his social media. You want to follow him at GQ Accountant. He's a finance guru. Let's just call him that. And he's really impacting a lot of lives in terms of some strategies he has to change the balance sheets of people. He was negative by quite a bit of money, and now he's positive by quite a bit of money. And I think he's looking to be a millionaire in the next 2-3 years, simply by investing and saving his salary, right? And he's always sharing the work he's doing, right? So again, he's on really his main platform, I think, is what your IG, right? So GQ Accountant, right? To check out Lawrence. So Lawrence says, "At what point can we say Haiti as is ungovernable, and how does this impact?" Haiti is currently ungovernable. Haiti's ungovernable, right? Let's just call it what it is, right? When you have a parliament who spent the entirety of their tenure, even though they knew they were going to be in a situation where they'd be out of power, spent it fighting amongst each other, and not passing any laws. When you have a legislator that basically can be overridden, well, we do want to respect the power of the minority. When you have 4 or 3 or even 1 senator who can basically totally derail a session, there's something's wrong with that, right? And I certainly, and we'll be looking for that in the new constitution as well. Certain things that can be done to censure politicians who are being disruptive to the point where parliament cannot do its job, right? So, but yeah, it's ungovernable from the standpoint that we have a parliament who is unable to do its job. First off, a lot of them don't want to do their jobs, and when it finally comes time when they have to do their jobs, a single person out of 100 and how many deputy seats are there? 150 some odd, 180 some odd. There's a lot of parliament seats. Let's take a look at my notes, and there's about 50 senator seats. All it takes is 1 or 2 to be able to totally derail a session. That doesn't make any sense, right? That's not how democracy should work, right? So it's ungovernable. Let's be clear on that. It's not just Jovenel who's making it or is making it ungovernable or not. And the impact of the economy is clear. We're negative. We're negative 1.5 In fact, we're going to talk about that. We have a later story about the state of the GDP, but we're negative, and we're going to be negative for a while, right? So, the output, the proof is in the pudding. We're living the inefficiencies of the Haitian government, right? Liz Z says, I'm willing to give it a chance. Let's see how the president Moise conducts business with politics kind of out of the way. Let's see what he accomplishes. All right. Okay. What? Okay. All right. We're back on the live. At least we should be. I'm not sure what happened here, guys. I'm not sure what happened. The computer just decided to shut down and reboot very randomly. I'm not sure if it was a Windows update that happened there or not, but I should be back. Let me know. Test, test. Those guys on Facebook and YouTube land, are you guys seeing me? Talk to me. Let me know. Am I gonna have to close the stream and reboot? Let me know. Are you guys seeing me? Hey, IG guys, am I still frozen on YouTube? Let me know. Talk to me. Let me type something in. Let's just see something. You're back. Okay, I am back. Let me just type in test, test. Test, test. Okay, I'm seeing my chat go through. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, guys. My computer literally rebooted. Right. So again, somebody text me something. Let me know y'all can see and hear me. I want to double check here, make sure I am coming through. I'm good. Okay, I'm good. All right. Wow, that was really weird. Really, really weird. Like technology, man. It's it's a great thing, but then it just randomly does things on its own. But what was my thought? I think what was I saying? I think I just wrapped up Lawrence's response, and basically said, Haitian government will see what the Constitution does for it, right? Liz Z had responded and said, we'll see how he conducts himself, right? And so William Pierre says, I feel sad and angry that he will never know the true and get back all the money that has been collected under Haitian's name for the earthquake. We let the words only Haitians stole it, and it's untrue. I don't quite understand what you're saying, but I think you're expressing a bit of frustration for, again, the ineffectiveness of the reconstruction that's happened. And I agree with you there, William Pierre. Situation's insane, Liz says. Accountability across the board. Evie. All right, guys, I'm seeing okay, great. I'm seeing folks who are telling me I'm back. Watmini says I'm back. Great stuff. All right, cool. I'm cool. All right. Any word on reparations from France? Nope. No word. In fact, I was reading something recently that only recently the France government has said that they're going to start curtailing the CFA franc. Anything you guys know about the CFA franc? It's a currency that France has mandated on somewhere 10 plus, 15 plus countries in Africa that has formerly were French colonies, that they have to use a currency backed by France, and then over somewhere around 70, 60, 80% of the reserves of the country, monetary reserves, cash reserves, has to be held in a French bank. And what France does is they just invest that money. They put that money in their stock market, they put that money in real estate. In fact, one of the reasons why I really don't feel, I've lived in France for a while and made trips. In fact, when I graduated college, graduate school, I took a trip all around France. But I certainly couldn't go back now, because when I look at a lot of the architecture and buildings of France, I'm saying this is Africa's wealth, right? This is everything you're looking at here is holy. And there's been expressions by Charles de Gaulle, who himself has said, without Africa, without the structure that France has put in place in Africa, France would not be a first world power. This is out of a leader's mouth in Africa. In France. And so just to key in on the reparations, there is no way a country that currently has a post-colonial impact currently today in 2020, where it's forcing African countries to keep their own money in its banks, would turn around and say, yeah, you know what, Haiti, we'll give you your billions of dollars back that we forced upon you. That's just not going to happen. Right. So let's be real. Ice-T never had a chance of doing that. He just did that as a parting shot because he knew his time was up. Right. Let's just be real. Now, ideally, that needs to happen. But realistically, is it ever? It's probably not. Right. But thanks for that. Thanks for that comment there, Evie. And so on IG really quick, your tax CPA says, I think I responded while I was waiting for my thing to boot back up, but your tax CPA, to answer your question, she asks if he's going to be able to rule by decree till 2020. Yes, he can. He's expressed that he's going to try to hold elections before the end of the year, or start that process before the end of the year. But realistically, he has no incentive to, right? He has no incentive to, because, he would then have to deal with opposition senators and the whole back and forth that got us where we were at today, more or less, right? Did Preval? Did Rene Preval did get to give his option? In fact, he did it more maliciously, where he literally had his party quit. He had his party quit so that the quorum couldn't happen. Still paid his party members their full salary for the year. The quorum couldn't happen, and Rene Preval was able to rule by decree. But history has shown that Rene Preval was probably one of the more effective public administrators. A lot of the roads, a lot of the things that government, has today was built under Preval. And a lot of people look back at Preval and say he was probably one of the least corrupt, you can almost say honest, presidents we've had, right? But certainly the cronyism, probably the biggest criticism of Preval was the amount of cronyism that had happened. A lot of big contracts happened under Preval. The current massive electricity contract that Moise went to war against and has won, where they were getting $2 million for a lot of people called blackout, happened under Preval. Now the contracts to build the roads that people applaud was to friends and associates of his that the roads were overcharged versus what they should have cost, right? But nonetheless, he did do a lot, and his role in directly taking money in the public treasure coffers, no one has ever been able to say anything against that. And again, there's been WikiLeaks cables that have come out where they've surprisingly said, "Oh, this guy's not too corrupt." People around him are, total shitbags. But wow, he's pretty for Haitian president. There, a lot of high level CIA and intelligence conversations were just really surprised how uncorrupt he was. So take that for what it's worth. Take that for what it's worth. So let's keep going. Let's keep moving forward with other news stories. It's already noon. I got a flight to catch, so we're gonna knock these out pretty quick. So we've had a seed center inaugurated. A seed center inaugurated in northern Haiti. We've talked about the push for Moise to under Moise to help with not only the replanting and reforestation, but also the access for seeds for farmers. We did report earlier last year that the first one was completed around Okai. So this past week, second center in northern Haiti has been completed, and we're still waiting on the final seed center in Atibonite, right? And again, this is going to be a place where not only farmers are supposed to be able to sell or purchase rice seeds and other seeds they'll use for planting, banan, and a bunch of different stuff locally at a cheap rate, subsidized by the government, but also reforestation efforts are supposed to be able to happen here, right? So that's great news, and we'll certainly keep an eye on that. And certainly, if I'm ever in either area, maybe Okai or North Cap Haitien, I certainly will try to do my best to see if I can get up there to any one of these seed centers and make a Seejeanty on location episode out of it, right? So look out for that if I'm ever traveling and have the time to be able to take that. So the University of Hospital in Mirebalais has earned a very important international accreditation that puts this hospital on par with top hospitals in the United States. In fact, there's only seven hospitals in the hemisphere that has this accreditation. The accreditation, by the way, is ACGMEI. And again, only seven. The University of Panama Hospital has it, for example, is really the only one in the Caribbean that has this level of certification. And it's really going to help them do a lot, attract top doctors. It should allow them to attract top funding. It should allow them to be able to do a lot of things from that perspective. By the way, we've shown the hospital on my Mirebalais episode on Seejeanty. If you haven't seen it, type in Seejeanty Mirebalais, and you'll see, me giving you guys a tour, basically, right, of the hospital. I wasn't necessarily invited to be there. I just kind of showed up, started filming. So it's not like in depth, but you'll get a sense of the hospital. On top of that, my drone wasn't really working at the time, and so I only got a little bit of the aerial view that I could have gotten, and I would have gotten if I had my drone working at the time. I since got my drone fixed, so that shouldn't happen again. But yeah, that's the thing. And then the University Hospital, by the way, it graduates up to 120 residents. It's graduated up to 120 residents since it's been in existence. And it was a hospital that was constructed. One of the rare wins of the earthquake, post earthquake. It was built after the fact, but bear in mind, it wasn't necessarily built with any of the Haitian funds. It was a private donor built hospital that, in large partnership with Cuba. A lot of Cuban doctors, were in Mirebalais and based there, and would lend their services to the training of the doctors that are currently there. So Mirebalais had a culture for quite a long time, a medical culture, which they were able to leverage, and then with private donors, with some funding, but again, privately led, we're able to do it. So it just goes to show you the difference when private entities do things versus when the government's involved with IDB, IMF, and all these big NGO institutions. You see the progress, the little bit of progress that gets done on that side versus the incredible amount of progress that gets done when it's folks who are there really to impact the country and not just take money, right? So just a very important note. And again, out of the 120 residents that have been graduated from the university hospital, 98% have stayed in the country to continue to work. And this is a hospital. Not only is it a hospital, but again, it's a hospital that graduates, doctors with family medicine, pediatricians, surgeons, gynecology, neurology, anesthetics, emergency medicine. These are very important domains that Haiti lacks, obviously, in large numbers. And again, what's cool about the University of Mirebalais Hospital, again, it's fully, it has this entire roof has solar panels and is in effect able to operate, Haiti's, despite the fact that Mirebalais, in fact, usually has a good amount of electricity because the dam of Mirebalais, not the dam Mirebalais, the dam of, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but Haiti's largest dam exists there. And the way the power grid is set up, a lot of Mirebalais usually has power. This is the reputation of Mirebalais. It's very well endowed in electricity, given its proximity to Haiti's dam. And despite that, it has a massive amount of solar panels and is, by all accounts, just about independent. Right? So again, Mirebalais Hospital it's a very big win for Haiti. It's a very big win for the Haitian people to get this accreditation, and certainly we need more successes like this, right? Pap Jazz Festival, our next story, the Pap Jazz Festival has been announced for 14th edition, starting this weekend. It's already started. And Pop Jazz Festival is really cool. It's those who don't know about it, it's a festival that for years I've been trying to be a part of it, to try to show this on a Seejeanty episode, but they're a little funny when it comes to recording and because in the music, apparently there's a lot of music that they're playing is copywritten, and there's just international rules and laws against filming it. One of these days I hope to connect with someone high up in the Pop Jazz promotion team and see if I can do a Seejeanty highlight and show you guys. It's really a phenomenal thing where you have folks flying in from all over the country, all over the world. Right? We have people from Switzerland, Brazil, Colombia, United States. I mean, you name the country. There's people from Africa, bands from Africa playing all types of jazz and just very beautiful melodic bands, very unique sounds. And it happens over the course of a week. Typically, and they play it, and it's held at University of Cascais, which is in Petronville, but they also on the private grounds. There's also some performances that happen at the Hotel Kinam or Caribe. They change Caribe. There are performances that happen in Place Boyer. In fact, in this year, there's supposed to be some performances happening in Jacmel as well. So again, if you guys haven't heard about it, definitely Pop Jazz and maybe visit next year. I know obviously this year, all the things that are happening, some folks were a little scared off. But if Haiti can stay calm this year, certainly next year is something we should look out for. And combine that with the news that Haiti Carnival was announced February 23, 24, 25. In Port-au-Prince, last year, obviously, it had to be canceled because of the political instability. It's been announced this year that it's going to happen. And both these things together, it's important to have. I know there's been some pushback. Why is this happening? Why are they pushing this where there's, so much filth in the streets? Education, schools need to be built. Police not receiving money. These are all true. There's no criticism, pushback from that perspective. But may I say that this is very good news for tourism, right? In fact, looking at flights, in fact, I got getting in, so I'm moving pretty quickly. I got to catch a flight. Looking at the frequency of, for example, JetBlue. JetBlue has reduced their flights to it used to be 3 times. They reduced it to 2 times, and I think for the first part of February, they're only flying out once a week. And then I looked at the dates for the Carnival, and I noticed that JetBlue increased their flights back to 3 times a day, right? So these little things that really help push tourism and really help push availability of flights, especially given that we're so hard hit in the country. This is something that the tourism industry really needs. It really needs this surge of music, entertainment, people coming in, people flying in to participate. I know I got a lot of friends here that were very annoyed that they're going to come, and they're looking to come this year. So it's an important thing. And again, I go back to saying, it shouldn't have to be a choice between education, sanitation, schools, police, infrastructure. It shouldn't have or the very important public events like the Carnival. Just like we saw when Haiti football team was winning, it was something I was able to bring a lot of Haitians together, made Haitians, put us on a different light to the world, which ultimately helps foster other things. The Carnival has that same effect. It brings Haitians together. It gives Haiti a different light, a different way. Oh, that's happening in Haiti. Oh, maybe let me take a look at Haiti a different way, right? So it shouldn't be a situation of or, right? It should be a situation of and. How can we also do these other things and also do the Carnival, which is important civically and socially and culturally, right? So that's my take on those two things. Two more stories to go through here. And this has to be the GDP, right? You probably should have led with this one here, where the GDP by the World Bank just about finalized that the GDP is negative 0.9% for 2019. But the real staggering punch in the gut is that World Bank is estimating that the GDP this coming year is going to be negative 1.5%. And then in 2021, they expect the Haitian GDP to be negative 0.5%. We're not expected to see a positive GDP until 2022, right? They stated the big reason why is the continued political instability and the lack of reforms for the Haitian economy, legal structure that has had them basically negatively evaluate the economy as such, and the impact of the protests previously, the amount of companies and businesses that either have closed down or decided not to invest further in the country are all part of why the World Bank has reevaluated their estimates so negatively. Now, personally, I think there is a unfortunate tendency to go a little far in certain directions. I remember the World Bank, when all this was going down around June, July, the World Bank and other large body statistical organizations charged to the IMF, in fact, charged with predicting GDP numbers, still had Haiti positive. And I looked at that and I was like, what are you talking about? Haiti is not, there's no way. Because again, I was in Haiti. I was seeing how the country was. Like, there's no way in hell, no way that there's going to be a positive GDP this year. None, zero, zip, zilch, nada, right? But yeah, there's a momentum. There's a momentum for them to, stay. Oh, well, well, we think it's positive for X, Y, and Z. It's going to be positive X, Y, Z. Until finally, towards the end of the year, they had no choice but to revise their numbers to be negative, right? And I think this is what's going on here. We have an overcorrection happening. I don't really expect, and to mark my words, you guys keep me honest here, right? I bet a lot of money that 2020 is not going to see a negative number. It's not going to see a highly positive number either. You may see 1% or so. Because what happens in Haiti, we have very aggressive rebounds. And you can see that right after the earthquake, where we were negative 4% or something like that. But the very next year, we were positive 4%. Haiti has this tendency, because it's such a small economy, right? It doesn't take much to really push it. It's like somebody playing penny stocks, right? It doesn't really take much to push a stock up when you're a penny stock. Haiti's a penny stock, right? It doesn't take much to really push the pendulum in the opposite direction. And I'm very optimistic that with the calm of Haiti, there is going to be reinvestment, happening. I'm privy to the fact that I know of certain developments that are happening in certain places that were on hold, but have decided to re-engage because of things have seemed to calm down. And so I'm more than confident in saying that Haiti won't be negative 1.5%. But certainly this doesn't help our image. This doesn't help investor sentiment. It doesn't help those who may be on the fence looking for reasons not to do it. Certainly this gives them a very important fuel to the fire. So that's where we're at. And ultimately what's going to drive Haiti's non-growth or growth will be whether or not Haiti can stay stable politically, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. And the final news story I want to engage on is Creole Essence. Creole Essence. A lot of folks may have known about this company. They've done a fantastic job in not only growing but promoting themselves. There you can find them, in fact, in Whole Foods and a lot of other retail stores across the country in the United States. And of course, they've have a fantastic website that they ship directly to your house at reasonable rates. Again, what Creole Essence is, they have their main primary product is castor oil, huile masquiti, for those who are Haitian and know what I'm talking about. And they've basically done a great job in creating a very nice, sleek bottle. And they've been extremely successful. I didn't really understand how successful they were until the fact that they're on Shark Tank. And they're talking about some of the figures. I mean, they made $1 million last year in revenue. And they were looking to make $2 million revenue this year without any additional support. They secured major contracts. A major contract was with Attel, which is one of the top, again, I don't know this, somebody told me after the fact, one of the top makeup retail online companies in America. And they secured a contract with them. And then what they do is the castor oil, it's good for your skin. It's good for hair. It's good for wounds, if you're trying to heal something, scars. It's really, huile masquiti, growing up, we know huile masquiti is the one-stop shop. It's the one thing that cures everything, per your grandmother, right? And they've done a great job of working with local farmers. And they have a processing plant in the country. Everything is done in country, and they ship it out. And this is really, for me, and both these guys, we have the owners are Jean-Baptiste and Yves Ka Mopeos, husband and wife couple, who have just persevered and just really done an incredible job of overcoming what it means to do business in Haiti, and do it the right way. Again, I know so many folks, they think of Haiti only for one thing, and that is importing stuff in, right? They come in, I have this app I want to develop, and I want to use it using Chinese people, and then just give it and then sell it, right? I got this incredible stuff I want to bring in from China and sell, right? I have this, I want to come in and build a bar resto. All these, it's needed. Don't get me wrong. Folks give me some crap. Chris, isn't all that stuff needed? Well, yeah, but that's not going to grow the economy, right? What's going to grow the economy is what these guys are doing. They're grabbing Haitian product, huile masquiti. They're using Haitian farmers. They're processing it in the country, right? Creating middle management job and white collar jobs. And then they're taking that product and selling them in America and making it very clear this is a Haitian product. I mean, right on their bottle, this is from Haiti, right? Changing perceptions, right? And driving a different narrative and really pushing GDP. Because what is GDP, guys? You gotta understand. Economists talking to you guys. GDP is ultimately to determine what you're providing to the economy of the world, right? What is your country providing to the economy of the world? That is the best way to understand what GDP is. And if no Haitian entrepreneur is coming with ideas to say, okay, I'm going to come in do something and export it, there is going to be no growth, right? Every country that has grown and gotten itself out of poverty has done so in large part because they've had entrepreneurs who've come in and said, okay, what is my country providing that's unique to it? And what can we then, give to the world, right? And bring in income, bring job opportunities, bring in investment around these central ideas, right? And again, Corral Essence, I'm a huge fanatic of them. And so to update what their story is, they went to Shark Tank, which is great for exposure, right? And told their story and walked away with an investment from Mr. Wonderful for $400,000, 5% equity, and 20 cents royalty for each item in perpetuity, right? Now, I did make a comment on my Facebook, Seejeanty, and said I was going to write a comment on that, my perspective. I didn't do that, but just because I don't. At the end of the day, I'm gonna trust them. That's ultimately what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna trust Jean-Baptiste and Yves Ka because they've built a company that and I know a lot more about their story than I care to share, because I know people who have worked very closely with them. I think on their live they mentioned a good shared friend of ours, Johnny Celestin. He's a very close associate of mine as well, and he's a very smart guy. And I know other folks too who've helped them along the chain, along their way too, and they've leveraged the best of people who have experience in business to grow their business and take that in. And I can only assume that, and they've talked about how much they did research on all the people and all the guests, and the fact that they played a hand very well because they know Mr. Wonderful loves royalties. He loves that. And in fact, they proposed that to him. And now they can say that they went on Shark Tank and got a Shark Tank investor. And they can say that and Mr. Wonderful has a track record of helping women businesses, right? And Yves Carr is certainly more of the face. And you can say also driving energy, perhaps you can say that too, of the company. And we'll see. I think time will tell if that was a good move or not. There's a part of me that questions it, right? Because 20 cents in perpetuity, that's a lot of potential money, especially since they're on an up track anyways. but that's just one side of me. The other side of me sees the opportunity for what it is. That the fact that they've plugged into Mr. Wonderful's network, they've plugged into the Shark Tank ecosystem, and they're going to be better off for it, right? So we'll see. We'll see ultimately what this brings about. I'm happy for a Haitian company to be able to reach that level. I'm happy for a Haitian company to be able to share its story to the world in that way. And again, we're going to see in a few years where they are, and ultimately if this was a good move or not. And that's where, as much as I'm gonna hold their judgment, and I do hope to be able to get either Jean-Baptiste or Yves Carr at some point on Seejeanty, and be able to for them to directly share their story. I think they're incredible people, incredible entrepreneurs doing incredible things, and certainly we look forward to highlighting them at some point, right? So that's our last news story. That's where we're going to end the news stories for today. Let's go and take a look at comments really quick. Again, I got a flight to catch, guys, so I'm not going to be able to stick around like I really would usually do. Let's see here. Bounce Bougie, thank you so much. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Cuba has always been big in medicine. Correct. Yeah. In 10 years, Iraq Prince, country's going to change. We certainly hope so. I've always said, if how long could it take Haiti to change if the right things were there? And 10 years. Honestly, if the right things were in place, Haiti would be in a much better place with a growing GDP, significantly less unemployment, increased access to hospital, education rates, mortality rates, a lot of these big metrics that folks look at in terms of quality of life. 10 years, if the right things were in place, right? And I'm not going to go too much. I've talked about in the past what those right things would be, and we certainly will in a future episode, but it's possible. And it's not rocket science. It's not hard, right? It ultimately comes down to governance. Governance is really a lot of, the bleed effect happens in a lot of these things. If we can govern a little better, and a big part of that again is, how do we input the diaspora to help, help keep folks honest, right? We got Odingo Mubutu, Jojo for life. All right, we'll see. We'll see if you hold that sentiment a few months from now. Lizzie, I'm finding nonstop flights to NYC. Everything stops in Miami. Yeah. I think American Airlines flies direct from New York to Haiti. No, I know that for a fact, actually. American Airlines fly, but you can't. You have to go directly to American Airlines. If you do just a general flight in Google, American Airlines doesn't show. I think American isn't cool with Google, so you have to go directly to American for that, right? Flying from Vegas, stopover for Lauderdale. Cool. In February, all right, cool bootlegger. Lizzie says they love their products. Shamir loves their products. Gary Moise says, "Hey, community needs more shows like yours." Yeah, thanks, Gary. Certainly. Thanks for watching. Certainly, and Gary, yeah, great. It was great to meet you as well. And hope to see you again maybe next time in Haiti, right? And let's take a look at IG. Let's see what folks are saying. Let's see. This is question 2, huh? What was question 1? What was question 1? Let's see. Is this term? I want to see question 1, man. I want to see question 1 there. So let's just answer question 2 there. Caribe says, how important is the NIF on it? It's very important. You can't operate legally in the country without a NIF or a vote or a national identification number either. You can't vote either. So it's very important. And one of the first things you have to do as you transition into the country, you have to first go to National Archive, depending on, if you have a birth certificate or not. And even if you don't, you have to show the birth certificates of your parents and get an extract from the National Archive that basically confirms that you're of Haitian nationality, right? And then from there, you can go to the DGE, which is a tax office, and get the NIF, which is effectively your tax number. And then from there, you go to the Bureau of, the Bureau of Identification. And then with a form of ID, you probably need to get your driver license first, but you need a NIF before you can do that. So after you get your NIF, then you get your driver's license. And once you get your driver's license, you can get your ID card, your national ID card, which allows you to vote. But once you have your driver's license, you can also get your passport as well. And you should, right? So great questions. Question 3 is the restriction the U.S. withdraw on banks and attempt to strengthen. That is correct. That is why they're doing it. But I don't. I do bring money in dollars, but I function in good. So that has never affected me, but certainly could affect someone. The simple way around that is, so you can't withdraw cash. The annoyance of Haiti is withdrawing cash. So all you have to do to get around that, Kaibich, is just write a check in dollars and allow the person to deposit it. And that's from bank to bank that it's fine. Just when you're trying to get cash out, and I can tell you, to be honest with you, you shouldn't be. I don't know what the cash limit is for dollars, but it's in the thousands. And I can tell you, for your own security, you shouldn't be withdrawing that much money in Haiti. I'll be honest with you, man. Just certain things you want to do and do it smartly. And that's one reason why when I'm in Haiti, I use checks as much as possible. I don't carry large amounts of cash with me. You know what I mean? Just got to play it smart, right? You got to play it smart, man, when you're doing business in the country, right? In Caribe, how do I feel about the royalty? It's not 25 cents, 20 cents. I think I expressed it. I think I want to wait over time to see how things are before I provide any more opinion than I already have. My initial thought was I thought it was a little bit much, but again, I have faith in Jean-Baptiste and Yves Carr, and I'm sure that they have it figured out. I have faith in their capacity because they've done a great job. and building the company so far. And I have faith that they'll be able to, they've made the right choice. They'll continue to make the right choices. And this is also a right choice, right? And finally, does grandparents being Haitian get you a NIF? I don't, that's a great question. I don't believe so. Now, the rules I've read about what grants you nationality, it's your parents, right? Your mom or your dad, right? Or, right? Either one of them. If you have it, then more or less you are Haitian national, legally speaking. I have not read anything about your grandparents being that, right? You may want to consult a lawyer to be more specific, but I have not seen anything that would indicate your grandparents making you a Haitian national the way the law is currently written, right? But your great questions, your tax CPA, great questions. All right, guys, that's where we're going to end it. Like a much longer episode, but I got a flight to catch. I'm tired of showing you these this stateside wall. Hopefully next time not next time, not hopefully next time, but certainly next time, we will be in my usual studio, and sharing the news, as long as we want. Hour and a half is too short for how we usually do things here at Seejeanty, right? So again, that's where we're going to end it. As always, Seejeanty on location. Our videos on www.youtube.com/Seejeanty. Those videos are available. We just recently dropped Pierre Stanley, Renaissance man, a guy who's doing some great stuff, releasing a book to really help empower the Haitian natives in terms of entrepreneurship and opportunities and how to overcome disadvantages. Because being in Haiti is a disadvantage. So how to overcome those things. Haiti, he's doing some great. He's also the managing director of Impact Hub. So if you haven't seen that interview, really great quality added interview. One of my favorite interviews I've done for sure. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go to YouTube, Seejeanty. One of the first videos you'll run across will be my discussion with Pierre Stanley. So do check that video out. Making a point. And of course, if you HaitiBiz.com, make sure to go to that site, even though we don't do our show daily anymore. HaitiBizNews.com exists, where we go out and we try to, really automatically just run a program, bring some of the most impactful stories happening in Haiti, as it relates to news in particular, to you guys, and in English, one-stop shop on your phone, HaitiBizNews.com. So do check that website out. Stay current all throughout the week. And then finally, share the stream. Share the stream. I think we had a very quality added conversation today. I think, right, guys, right. I think you agree. So definitely share it. Let other folks come into the conversation, get informed, and be a part of the. Because before you can impact, you have to be informed, right? So let's get them on the first step to moving forward, right? Right. I think that's where we're gonna end it. I think that's it. Listen, guys, I appreciate you. Right. You guys have a good week. Have a great week. Right. We'll be back next Sunday. Right. So until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again. See you guys later.